Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome, guys. Mr. Frederick, the good word. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's feeling good and energized. Woo! Yeah. Another day. Let's be thankful. Let's be blessed. Let's have gratitude. All right, guys. Let me look for this Bible verse here. Give me a second. Let's see. All right, guys. Today's live, we're going to start with. Oh, God, it's so hot in here. Let's see here. I don't know where I get this out of here. Okay, today's Bible verse is Colossians 3:4. When Christ, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Woo! Appear right there with him, so that's going to be a blessing. Oh God, look at that. I wonder what's going on out there. All right, guys. Let me see here. I don't know what that is. That's crazy. Something going on out there. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today's live is going to be about toxic positivity. Okay. And let's look up the definition of that. Let's look. It's a term I've been hearing getting thrown around recently in the media, but I think some things that are new, I like to kind of. Okay, toxic positivity is the practice of forcing an optimistic outlook even when you're experiencing negative emotions. Okay, think about that, fam. Toxic positivity is the practice of forcing an optimistic outlook even when you're experiencing negative emotions. It can involve, it can involve invalidating or denying negative feelings. Wow, that's amazing. The crazy thing about that is there's okay, so here's some examples of toxic negativity. Telling someone to think positive or be optimistic. Dismissing someone's concerns by saying it could be worse. Uh, Pressuring someone to toughen up or stop whining. Using phrases like positive vibes only or good vibes only. Toxic positivity is dangerous, fam. And I'm going to tell you why it's dangerous. Because you need to understand that there are things that are just bad in this world. There are things that are negative, and when you use toxic positivity or you get in a habit of being someone who is constantly just everything's good, it's all good, it's all going to work out, it's positive no matter what. The person, oh well, let's find a silver lining in this. Oh well, the person's, let's work with them, let's try, let's no. You need to understand and respect some things are bad. Some things in this world are just bad. They're bad for you. They're no good for you. You shouldn't partake in them. And you need to know that. You need to know that that's not a badge of armor to look at everything in a silver lining. You have to look at everything in a realistic way. That's more positive really for yourself. And it's going to be more beneficial for you. You have to look at things as they actually are. And here's some things I jotted down, 5 reasons. You have to treat things accordingly. So if someone is disrespectful, you can't just brush it under and give them excuses and make excuses for them. So toxic positivity will allow you to do that. It'll say, oh well, maybe this person's went through. No. You're negative. Get out of here. Simple as that. No giving chances and benefits and positive. No. And number two, it's very dangerous because if you're not looking at the situation as what it accurately is, you're putting yourself in danger because when it's a dangerous situation, you need to know it's a dangerous situation. It's a dangerous person you're around. You need to identify it as it is. That protects you. So when you get consumed with quote unquote toxic positivity, you lose that. You're starting to reframe things in a good light when it's really not good. So it's very important at times well, all times really, to just see things as they are. So that's number two. It's very dangerous. Number three, forget titles. The reason why I say forget titles, forget who the person is to you or who you think they should be, far as like, say for instance, family members and whatever stuff like that. A lot of us feel entitled because we feel like we're somebody supposed to be this. A brother, a sister, a child, a aunt, whatever, uncle. No, mother, father, it don't matter who it is. If it's bad, it's bad. It's very important that you see it in a realistic, how it actually is, and not the title of the person, because you're going off of what society tells you someone should be this or that. No, don't listen to what someone should be. Listen to what they are. Because if that's not your reality, it's not your reality. You can't make it something it's not. That's going to make you a little delulu. That's going to make you delusional. And another reason, it's going to go into my third reason, is, well, fourth actually, is it attracts parasites. So if someone can identify that you're overly positive, overly optimistic, you see the best in them all the time, you see the best in every situation, that's going to attract people that are natural parasites. They say, that's an advantage I have on this person. This person's looking at me or the situation like it's good. I know I don't mean this person any good, but I know they're positive, so I'm going to play on that. I'm going to play on your positivity and give me a chance. And no, that's a parasitic type of person that you need to identify, get rid of them instantly. And you can avoid a lot of headaches, a lot of times when you might try to change a person, or you might try to think that you can have impact on who they are. They are who they are, family. They are who they are. You're not changing anyone. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't give all these chances with toxic positivity. Oh, well, they went through this as a child and all. And a lot of times, those are the people that are going to throw that. They're going to try to push that at you, that feel sorry for them. If they think you're empathetic, oh, feel sorry for me. I went through this. No. All right, that's your issue. That's your problem. And we all went through things. You got to do, when you come to me, I got to pay attention to the energy exchange. What type of energy am I being drained from you? Is this a positive? Is this an equal exchange? Or is this something I feel drained from the time I got to you to the time I'm away from you? I feel like I have no energy. I'm depleted. It's a reason why you feel that way. Person's probably either the victim, they're a manipulator. Something about their energy is really what you got to listen to your body. Okay, and this is according to Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists of all time. You have to listen to your body when you're interacting with individuals, because it's an energy exchange. That's really all it is. We all carry energy. So when you're engaging with someone and you walk away from the conversation and you're like, wow, why do I feel so tired? They're projecting all of their hidden shadow self onto you. So all of their feelings, all of their subconscious that they don't want to acknowledge, guess where it goes? It just doesn't sit out in space. It goes right to you. So if they're a person that feels like they're a victim, if they feel like maybe you owe them something, the world owes them something, if they have anger that they have repressed some kind of way, they're not acknowledging, all of that is going to be projected into you, and it's going to be triggered into you some kind of way. Sometimes they'll try to trigger you, but you have to pay attention. And toxic positivity doesn't allow you to see people's situations as they really are, which is very dangerous. Again, it makes you pray for certain people if you go by that. Also, remember that the only power that type of individual has is to lie, and that's why you got to forget the expectations, because people can come up around you and they realize all I got to do is kind of lie. All I got to do is lie to this person. All I got to do is present a fake self, present a fake situation, present all of these fake chaotic situations. However I want to do it, that's all I have to do is lie. So that person can easily identify if you're overly positive. They can identify, they can kind of mirror, and in the end, they are not positive. They're just draining your positive energy. They know they're not positive. So you would be the fool to keep this person around you or in situations like that. And you got to remember, those people will exploit you. They will exploit you and your energy because you have to keep your energy to do what God got you here for. Remember, God don't have you here for no reason. So honoring yourself, honoring your energy is honoring God. You can't honor yourself and you can't honor God without honoring yourself. God is in you. Okay? So whatever you do to yourself, that's what you're doing to God. That's literally what you're doing to God's vessel and his purpose that he has you here for. So that's how serious you have to take it. You can't take it lightly. Toxic positivity doesn't allow you to do that because you're always looking at things in a positive way when they're not. And they could actually be harmful to you and the purpose God has for you. So remember, toxic positivity, none of that. None of that. You're not obligated to do anything for anyone. If they bring bad energy to you, and that's what you feel in your body, get away from them. So you will find that certain individuals will prey on the fact that that's why I said titles. They'll say, "Oh, well, I'm your cousin. I'm your this. I'm your girlfriend. I'm your no. What are you bringing to me? What is the exchange? If this energy exchange is bad for me, you're gone. Simple as that. I don't care who you are. And a lot of times, individuals, you don't give them second and third chances because they might look at it as when they did act up around you, maybe you weren't in a good place. But watch how people treat you when you're at your lowest. Forget when you're on top and you're doing good and everything. You got yourself together. You're moving, you're building, you're starting to really make some strides in your life. No, if you weren't supporting me when I was down and out, when I seemed like I'm never down and out because God got me. But if you thought that means you don't believe in God. God is in me. You got to go. So simple as that. Don't make no excuses for them. Don't, oh, well, no. If they weren't there when you were down, you can't be there when I'm up. You ain't there either way. Only people I want when I'm up is the people that was there for me. Drake say, you weren't with me when I was shooting in the gym. You weren't with me when I was shooting in the gym. You weren't with me. You weren't with me when I was in the gym. And that's how you got to look at it. If they're not with you on your low, they can't go with you on your high. That was God removing them. God was doing you a blessing getting them out of there. He didn't want them to benefit off of the blessings that you were going to get. You see, God knows what's going to happen all the way down. He already knows. This stuff has already happened. Everything's already happened. It's just that some of us are gifted and we could see a little bit of it. Okay? Some of us have that gift. Not all, but some do. So we know who to get rid of. We know if you're not around, believe me, you might not know why you actually do know why you're not around. But if you really think about it, if you're not around, that person has a gift. They knew to remove you. You say, well, I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. Some people know. So you got to think. Everything in science doesn't tell everything that we have here on Earth. Science, you have to prove evidence to everything. God, you don't need evidence for God. Okay, we're breathing air. You don't see the air, but you know if that air ain't there, you know it ain't there because you're not going to be here neither. So you got to remember that God is all knowing. God can do anything. So of course, he has people that he's given. If God is in you, he has people he's given special gifts and they know who their enemies are. You don't need to say something directly. You think you need to tell someone directly that you're their enemy for them to know you're their enemy? That's Western science. That's Western logic. Okay, that's not all knowledge. Okay, you got to understand we had knowledge way before any of these books were written. There was knowledge on this earth. There were people knowing to do things and create things that you can't even duplicate to this day. You can't duplicate the things that our ancestors were creating and putting on this earth 5,000 years ago. They can't make it right now. Okay, so if you just rely on the knowledge of Western technology, this is current. All this is new. Do you understand how long man has been here? You understand how long man has been on this earth. Okay, a very, very long time. Language is primitive. Shout out to Kevin Gates. I love that. I got to quote him on that. He said, anybody could trick your mind with words. Anyone can trick your mind with words, okay? So believe me, if you just relying on someone's words to navigate you in this world and in this life, that's all you using is what you see with your own two eyes and what you hear with that senses. You got to concentrate on what you feel. What you feel is more powerful than that, and that's energy. What you feel is energy. We had that before we could speak. You understand? So understand that you can fool some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. It's people that have knowledge that you have no idea. And guess what? Those are the ones that will not tell you. Those are the ones that will not tell you. How? How did he know? How did he know I was a scumbag? How did he know that I was going to set him up? How did he know? God is how he knew. That's all you need to know. God is how he knew. So when you play with God and you think you got it in for someone that's following the Lord and God is gifted, and you think you got it in for them and you think you're going to be able to slick, and God will make it in a way where the plans you tried to use to destroy him or her will end up destroying you. He will use those same things you were trying to use to destroy one of his soldiers, one of his warriors. He will use everything you're trying to do to hurt that individual. He will use that to lift them up and make you that individual's footstools. It is written. Okay, so remember that. All right, guys, that's what I'm talking about. Positive toxicity. Toxic positivity. I got my mind flipped up. But toxic positivity is not good. Understand, because you don't want to have to go through all of that. Don't be too optimistic. Be realistic, okay? Don't be too optimistic. Be realistic. Today, I want to dedicate, I always dedicate at the end of every live to someone who I respect and who's special, who has talents, gifts that I admire. And today I want to talk about Samuel L. Jackson. I was watching a movie last night on him that he did years ago called, a lot of you guys might have already seen the movie, but it's Coach Carter. And I realized he is one of my favorite actors. If you put up, I would say he's in my top 5, possibly top 3 favorite actors of all time. His movies have grossed, I think, the most or close to the most money of any other actor in history. He's in the what is it called? The Guinness Book for his movies. I mean, not because he was starring. A lot of times he's a supporting character, whatever. But the bottom line is he's been a part of all of these movies. He's been a part of all these movies. And the thing you got to remember about Samuel Jackson, why I admire him as well, is he's overcome a lot. So you'll see a theme with me. A lot of the people that I look up to that inspire me, I've seen them overcome something. That gives you an extra superpower. When you overcome your demons, like he had alcohol and I think crack drug addiction early in his career. And when you see someone who can go from that to being in the Super Bowl at 77 years old, okay, you got to understand that that's special. That's nothing but God shining and blessing him because of who he is and what he was meant to be. But when I was watching Coach Carter, I realized he can go from being a police officer, he can go from being a crackhead, this is in his movies now, to being a gangster, to being anything. It's like he's a coach here, and he plays the role so seemingly, it's like you really believe that this man's the coach. And then you see a movie with him, complete opposite type of character, and he plays the roles just as convincing no matter what the role is. I love Samuel Jackson. I mean, people always talk about his cursing and all that stuff, but to me, that's just his expression of a part of him that he brings out that he probably got from, his hood or wherever he's from, or just moving in the streets. When you're on drugs like that, you see a lot of people. So I think it's a great artist that can take and see things in individuals and embody those same characteristics and present them and project them to the world on the big screen and be realistic about it. That's like a rapper or singer who can take and transmute that energy that they observe. That's a special gift. So Samuel Jackson has it, Denzel has it, But I think Samuel Jackson, being a character actor, is actually more versatile than Denzel. And Denzel's like, he's my one or two. You know, he's up there. So Samuel Jackson can take and be any character. Any character. You name it, he can do it. I would love to create a movie and put him in it. One day I might. We'll see. But and check out some of Samuel Jackson's movies. And guys, if you can, check out Coach Carter. I seen it before years ago. Came out like 2005. But I think when it came out, I was probably just not really in a, in a good mindset to really enjoy it and concentrate, just because of the situation I was in life at the time. I'm one of those type people. I'll black out if I don't like a time period or something I was doing. I'll black it out in my mind. Everything at that period, I'll like purposely not remember and just focus on. Now, some of you might do that too here. I don't know, disassociation, whatever you want to call it, but it's just negative emotions, negative experiences, negative time periods. I don't deem them as necessary to remember and focus on. So 2005 was probably that for me. I'm thinking is why I can't remember so much of that movie, but I know I saw it. But when I saw it again last night, I realized it had a lot of positive messages in the movie. How he dealt with the kids, how he allowed to let him grow too. See, because that's a great example of energy exchange. Because Coach Carter in the movie, he's helping these kids. It's a real true story too. Out of Northern California, had a basketball team. They were horrible. They brought him in, and he implemented discipline. He implemented self-love. A lot of great characteristics, great traits that he gave to the team, and it ended up they had a mighty respect for him. So I admired that type of cinema because it really touches to the human spirit and what we can do. And I love things like that. As you guys know, I study psychology, so I think on that deeper level. But when you watch a movie that is very inspirational, like Coach Carter, you realize you can overcome obstacles. I think five or six of the team. Now, keep in mind, they were like in the worst. They were in the worst neighborhood in that area. You know, they really downtrodden. Most of the, I think he said one out of the three people there, kids their age, ended up in jail or dead. You know, and those six of those team mates actually went to college and got degrees, played on teams, and that was all due to his influence. So I love seeing movies like that you walk away feeling good, not drained, but positive. So check out Samuel Jackson. If you can, check out Coach Carter. It's a really good movie. It's actually on YouTube. So you guys can see it for free with ads. So that's what I'm going to talk about him. So, all right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Another live, another good word with Mr. Frederick. And remember, love what you do and do what you love. All right, now.